Christmas markets are awesome, and today I'm gonna see what you can find at the Christmas market in Sigtuna, the oldest town in Sweden. Sigtuna is one of the oldest towns in Sweden. It was founded around year 980 AD by King Erik Segersäll. Erik Segersäll means Erik the Victorious, and I talked a lot more about him in my previous video about Sigtuna. I also talked a lot more about Sigtuna in general, about its history and the fact that the area surrounding Sigtuna has the world's largest concentration of Viking runestones. There were lots of Viking settlements close to Stockholm, and Sigtuna was one of the most important of these early Viking cities. But we're not here to look at Viking remnants or Viking runestones. Today we're gonna have a look at everything that the Sigtuna Christmas market has to offer. There's been a Christmas market at Sigtuna for more than 70 years, and you can find lots of food and handicraft here, and also entertainment. There's music, singing, performances, and a lot more. Most visitors to Stockholm go to the Christmas markets at Skansen or Old Town. This one is a little bit far off in comparison. You could almost say that this place is sort of a hidden gem that only Stockholm people know about. But given the amount of visitors here today, I don't think you can call it hidden at all. There's a lot happening today. There's a children's choir singing in the morning, and there's a blacksmith on the main square doing, well, blacksmithy things. There's also Christmassy films being shown at the cinema, and various entertainers around town. This is the last weekend of this Christmas market, and it seems like I missed a lot of stuff happening the other weekends. One weekend there was pony riding here, but I guess that I wouldn't have tried that anyway. That would have been cruel and unusual punishment for the little horses. There was also a city walk taking place and a Lucia procession. Lucia is the Swedish tradition of honoring an Italian saint by dressing up in a nightgown and having candles in your hair on December 13. It's a beloved tradition in Sweden. A bit weird, but very appreciated. There was a children's Lucia procession in the church today, but I was too late in getting there, so I could just film it a little bit from the back. Kids are often forced into Lucia processions in schools all over Sweden. That's another type of cruel and unusual punishment. I leave it up to you to determine if I'm talking about the kids or the people who are forced to listen to them sing. All of this is quite exciting, but one of the most important things about a Christmas market is of course the food. You can find lots of different sausages and cheeses at Christmas markets in Sweden. Good old peasant food for cold, harsh winters. And there's other kinds of food stuff, as well as drinks and candies. Glögg is a sweet Swedish mulled wine that dates back to at least 1609. That was the first time that the term glöggat vin, mulled wine in Swedish, was used. Glögg is basically an abbreviation of that. However, people were drinking glögg even before they called it glögg. In the 1500s, King Erik XIV was recorded drinking lutendrank, which is a mix of wine, spices, and milk. 210 jugs of it was served at his coronation. King Gustav Vasa demanded ren vin instead for his coronation. That's a little bit more like the modern glögg we have today. There's no milk in it, in other words. Gingerbread is very popular in Sweden, and candy canes as well. Around Lucia you can also find lussekatter, Lucia cats, which are saffron buns that are not shaped like cats. They're called cats because they got their shape from something called devil cats in Germany. Candied almonds are also popular, but in Sweden they're called burned almonds instead. Appetizing name, isn't it? And apparently you can find raggmunk here, but that's not really a Christmas treat. It's just a treat in general. And then you find all the other usual suspects like butterscotch and marzipan and chocolate and stuff like that. Either way, I hope you get a little bit hungry from watching this video. There's a lot of stuff on display here. I bet you've heard that Santa Claus lives in the North Pole, or maybe in Rovaniemi in Finland. Regardless of where he lives normally, he's apparently here today. This is a perfect opportunity for kids of all ages to give him a wish list of everything they desire. This is intended for kids, but my mental age is around 5, so I guess it's fine. Santa is hanging out at a place called Drakegårdens trädgård, which means something like the Dragon Mansion Garden. It got its name from the 19th century family Drake of Hagelsrum, which basically means something like the dragon from Hagelsrum. Why don't I have a cool name like that? I'd love to be called something like the Manticore of Stadshagen. But with my luck, I'd be called the piss-poor vagabond of Back Alley instead.
Hej.
Hejsan tomten!
Hej.
Är det min önskelista?
Tack. Har du varit snäll då?
Jag har försökt.
Ja, bra. Man börjar så gott man kan.
Tack så mycket.
Tack.
I like showing off weird and wonderful things about Sweden and other countries as well. I've previously made a video about Sigtuna in spring instead, as well as a video about Swedish Christmas traditions. If you like what you see, make sure you... What is it people say these days? Smash the like button, obliterate the subscribe button, or something like that. I hope that I'm gonna have a lot more fun and hopefully interesting stuff coming up as well. Elsa Beskow was a Swedish children's book author who published a lot of fairy tales between 1897 and 1952. Some of those tales concern ladies dressed in green, brown and violet, and those ladies are also here today. They supposedly represent 3 different types of women: green-fingered, masculine and prissy. Those fairy tales are a bit weird. I was planning on making this video very Christmassy, but it started to rain instead. If there's one thing you can rely on in Sweden, it's the unreliable weather. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the history of Christmas markets. Christmas markets take place all over Europe, typically in December, in the time of Advent. You might see Christmas markets all the way up until December 23rd, but in some places, like Sigtuna, it only happens on the weekends leading up to Christmas. These markets originated in Germany and Austria in the late Middle Ages. Dresden has one of the oldest Christmas markets in the world, and it started way back in 1434. Sweden got started pretty late in comparison. The oldest Christmas market in Sweden is the Christmas market in Old Town in Stockholm that started in the 1800s. The biggest Christmas market in Sweden is in Liseberg in Gothenburg, but that one just got started in 1999. There's also Christmas markets in old castles, in small villages and towns, and even a Christmas market in an old copper mine in the town of Falun. As mentioned, Christmas markets is mostly a European thing, but it's starting to become popular in other places as well. Christmas markets weren't really a thing in the English-speaking world, so there didn't used to be many Christmas markets in the UK or the US. That's starting to change though. Denver and Chicago now have Christmas markets, as well as Bristol and Birmingham. Oh, and Edinburgh as well. But Birmingham is the biggest of these newcomer Christmas markets. This year I decided to go to the Sigtuna Christmas market though. Sigtuna is a lovely town with a lot of history, and I really like the town itself as well as the market. Even though it's a bit too rainy for my taste right now. And that's about it for this quick look at the Christmas market in Sigtuna. It was intended to be a snowy, wintry, Christmassy video, but you got rain instead. Oh well, hope you enjoyed it anyway. Like and subscribe, but most importantly, have a great day. Now you should have a look at this video as well for more wintry delights.